Greetings, hunters, and welcome back to another episode of The Hunters AD 1492. And last time we defeated that pesky Megaloptera that was causing problems down here in Teganesi Abbey. And we have continued our journey north, attempting to get up here to resolve this card, which needs to be resolved quite soon, as it is best resolved between 17 and 23 days, and we are currently on day 18. And as you may remember, we came across a bridge in this location last time, and it seems that the bridge over the river was home to some nefarious bandits who were extorting people attempting to cross. And as it happened, some travellers were being extorted as we came across the scene, and we were given the choice to either draw our weapons and launch a surprise attack against the brigands, or carefully backtrack in order to better prepare for the fight. Now, I had to think about this, and I decided that even though it doesn't say it, thematically it feels like this bridge we've come across is on the way to our destination. You know, there's a river heading up here. So I feel like, with time being of the utmost importance at the minute, the thematic thing to do here is to actually attack these brigands so that we can get across the bridge quicker and get to our destination. So that means we are going to have to resolve Quest 18C as we attempt to cross that bridge. Okay, so here we are with our setup for Quest 18C. So we have 2 bandits and a chief, and we also have a crossbowman who we haven't seen for a little while. But this isn't just an ordinary crossbowman. This is in fact a veteran crossbowman who has 8 health, 3 perception, 1 defense for each of those, and he also has cornered. If after performing the parting leap it would still be engaged with an enemy, it performs a melee attack of 1 instead of a parting leap. Okay, so he's a bit more dangerous. And he's got 2 agility and rolls 3 dice with his crossbow, but not much for his melee attack. So we'll give these cards a quick shuffle. Okay, and our chief, their leader, has 6 wounds on her, which is the usual case, so she only has 6 health. And now let's take a look at our quest goal. Your quest goal is to defeat all enemies by the end of round 7. Special rules. So there's none for 18A. We're not playing 18B, so we don't have to worry about that. 18C or D. If there is 1 enemy on the board, they flee, and the quest immediately ends with the hero's victory. During round 1, all heroes can perform their actions before enemies, no matter their perception. Oh, that's good. So we actually get to go first because we've charged in and taken them by surprise. Okay, so that is all the setup done, but we need to place the round marker. So we get to go first. So I think we are going to start with Friedrich. Now I want to stay out of range of this crossbowman, which I think will be safe here. But we might back up a little bit anyway and try and lure all of these guys to us. But we're going to have Friedrich try and take him out. So the first thing he's going to do is play Answering the Call, which lets him make a ranged attack of 2. So he rolls 4 dice. Wow. Okay. That's definitely the best luck he's had with this blunderbuss so far. So it is an attack 2, but the blunderbuss has +1 accuracy. So in fact, this 3 hits, and we get to add another die, which is a 6. So that's 4, plus his dexterity, so it's got an attack strength of 5, and it's Pierce 1. So it goes straight through this bandit's armour and does 5 wounds to him. So it just kills him with a single hit. He's just torn to pieces by that shrapnel. And then he can move or parting leap 1. So we want Friedrich to be as safe as possible. So he's going to go there. Then he might as well use Quick Aid, because it'll heal himself for 1 and it'll heal Wilhelm for 1. Which will put himself back up to 7 health and Wilhelm up to 8, so they're both on maximum health. Okay, now it's Wilhelm's turn. So I don't actually really want to lose any of these with Wilhelm. So he's going to stay there. and let the enemies come to him. So we begin with the veteran crossbowman, who has perception 3. So we'll draw a card for him. And at range 2+, he has got an attack 3 at range 1 to 4. Which, actually, well, okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he can hit Wilhelm. He chooses the furthest target, but it's going to be Wilhelm because Friedrich is fortunately 5 spaces away. So this veteran crossbowman rolls 3 dice and adds 2 for his dexterity. And he needs 3s to hit, so we're really lucky there that he doesn't hit with any of them. And he does 2 damage, which would be blocked by Wilhelm's Brigandine, but it's pierce 1, so Wilhelm will take 1 point of damage from that crossbow. Then it's the chief's turn, and she is 1+ range away, so she can't get to within range to attack, so she's going to move 2 spaces. So she's going to go 1, 2, and get into the same space as him. And then lastly is this bandit. He can't get close enough to attack, so he's going to move 2. Now this bandit, if he moves to here, his movement will stop, because he's entered difficult terrain. So he could go this way round. But either way, he's still going to be 1 space away. I'd say it makes more sense for him to be here, because he's got cover here. And that is the end of round 1. So we need to draw 2 cards for Friedrich. Move the round marker up. And then we start again. And it is the crossbowman's turn. So he's going to do the same thing again. So he's going to attack Wilhelm. He rolls his 3 dice. And he gets a 1, a 2, and a 6. So he gets to add an extra die, which is a 6. So that's 4. It's pierce 1. So Wilhelm takes 3 damage, dropping him to 4 health. Then it's the chief's turn. So she does attack 3 and stun, and it's parry, so he can't play any reactions against this. So she rolls 3 dice and adds 4 because of her strength. Oh dear, that's unfortunate for her. So that's 3 misses. But she does still add 4. So Wilhelm gets his 2 points of armour. And he only takes 2 damage, dropping him to 2 health. So it's now Friedrich's turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw away this stimulant to allow him to move 1, because he needs to heal Wilhelm. So he's going to move 1 into there. And then he's going to use versatility. Oh, I could have used this as a reaction, couldn't I? It doesn't matter. So he's going to heal Wilhelm for 3. Now I could risk doing a parting leap to get away, but I don't want to take that attack. So he's going to use the free interact to reload his blunderbuss. And then it will be this bandit's turn. So he's going to move 1 and do an attack of 3. So he moves into here. Now because Friedrich's in the space, he's going to target Friedrich. He gets 2 and a 6. So he gets 1 hit plus his strength of 1. So it's 2 damage. Friedrich's Gambison takes 1 point of the damage, so Friedrich is dropped to 6 health. Okay, and now is Wilhelm's turn. And Wilhelm is fine, because even though the chief had stun, he is wearing his Ring of Power, so he is immune to stun. So we want to try and take out both of these if we can. Could be a very short fight. So we're going to take our Blade Dance. So this has been an invaluable card for us. And he can add multiple reactions to this. So he's going to add protecting the group, which gives it +2 dice. And then he's got a second protecting the group, so he's going to add another +2 dice. So this attack is going to be 7 dice. And he's going to go all out on this. He's only going to get one action, but he's going to add this one, which allows him to freely divide the attack strength between enemies on his space during the attack. And he's going to add Powerful Strike, which will add +1 strength to the attack. So this is going to be an exceedingly strong attack. So let me just move all of these out of the way. First thing we need to do is roll 7 dice. And it's an attack of 3, but he gets +1 from his sword, so it's 4. Okay, it's 2 6s there. But that was only 6 dice we rolled, so we'll roll one of them for the 7th. Okay, that's a 1. So we'll roll another one. That's a 2. So they were all hits, weren't they? That was a hit. So 6 out of the 7 dice hit. And then we add 3. So it's a total of 10. So she's got an armour of 4, but we've got Pierce 1, so that's going to drop it down to 3. And she has 6 health left. So we're going to need to put 9 damage on her. Yeah, which means we won't do anything to the bandit because he's got 2 points of armour. So we kind of wasted that card. That's unfortunate. But never mind. So we put all 10 points of damage onto the bandit, which has dropped down to 7 by her armour. But it's not enough, and she is chopped in half. And then unfortunately we used all of our cards to do that, because I didn't think. I thought I could have maybe got enough damage to kill both of them. So never mind. And then that's the end of that turn. So we're going to go on to round 3. And we need to draw 5 cards for Wilhelm. And 2 for Friedrich. Okay, so round 3, and the crossbowman is going to go first. So he draws his card. Okay, it's the same again. He's going to attack 3 at range 1 to 4. But Friedrich is now in this space, so he's going to target Friedrich. So he rolls his 3 dice. And he gets a 4, a 5 and a 2. So lucky for us, he only hits with 1 of those. So it's a total of 3. It's Pierce 1, so that's just going to be 3 damage straight onto Friedrich, dropping him to 3 health. And then it's Friedrich's turn. So Friedrich is going to need to heal. So all Friedrich is going to do is he's going to use Anatomy to heal himself for 2 damage, putting him back up to 5 health. And then he's going to use this other Anatomy card to heal himself back up to full health. Okay, now it's this bandit's turn. So this bandit is going to make an attack 2. And it's going to be against Friedrich. With a 5 and a 3, they both miss. And it's only 1 strength he's got. So, fortunately for Friedrich, his Gambeson blocks the damage. And now it's Wilhelm's turn. So Wilhelm just needs to take out this guy, and we're done. So, what Wilhelm is going to do is he's going to play Pummel, which gives him +1 dice, because this guy hasn't got any damage on him. And then he's also going to use this reaction from protecting the group to give him +2 dice. So it's going to turn his 3 dice attack into a 6 dice attack. And it is an attack of 2, but he's got +1 accuracy from his longsword. So 1, 2, 3. And then he rolled 2 1s. So that would be a miss. And that would be another 1. So he gets to roll another die. So far we've got 6 damage. 7 damage. So a total of 7 damage. And then we add his strength to that. So it's 9 damage, and it's Pierce 1. So the bandit only blocks 1 point of damage. So he takes 8 damage. So he is absolutely slaughtered. And as it says, if there is only one enemy on the board, he flees. So this crossbowman runs off into the woods. And that is victory. So each hero gains 2 experience, which puts Friedrich up to 15 and Wilhelm up to 6. The hero who dealt the finishing blow to the leader gains 1 morale and a wooden shield. So Wilhelm gains a morale and a wooden shield. So here's our wooden shield. Wilhelm will of course be carrying this. And what this tells us is that when enemies attack us, they convert 1 strength into a die roll, or 1 agility into a die roll, instead of having that guaranteed hit. So what we'll do is we'll put his Cinquedea in the caravan, and Wilhelm now has a shield and a sword. And then we place 2 ducats and 1 silver for each hero on location 6. So all of this loot is waiting for us in Penzberg. Right, so I'm going to clean up the map. We're going to go back to the world map and see what happens next. Okay, so here we are back on the world map, and that is that quest finished. So now we can spend 1 more day to finally move to this location here. So we move to here, putting us on to day 19, and we have to roll for an event. And we do get a travel event. So this is just a level 1 travel event. So we'll give our level 1 travel events a shuffle, and we'll draw from the bottom. So we've got animal. You hear disturbing whining. Something is thrashing about. Something is trashing about the bushes nearby. You gently move branches aside to look that way and see a crazed animal. A doe got caught in a primitive snare at the edge of a clearing. It looks sound, but the trap keeps it in place. When the animal turns its head to you, you freeze. The doe has a single eye in the middle of its forehead, like the mythological Cyclops. It blinks a few times, its heavy eyelid closing and opening, and for a moment it stands still. You instinctively retreat a few steps. Okay. A. You approach the beast to free it. B. No matter how many eyes it has, it will surely taste great once you roast it over a fire. Time to end its suffering. C. Only the number of eyes may differentiate this doe from a normal animal. But what if it can breathe poisonous fumes or spit flames? No need to risk. You cautiously return to the road. Okay, well, could do with some food, but I'm not sure that's the best idea with it only having 1 eye. However, I do feel like it doesn't seem to be evil. And, I do care about animals, so I guess we're going to do option A. Hopefully I don't get punished for it. Option A. You sneak closer. The doe, sensing danger, starts to desperately thrash in the snare. You carefully cut the ropes, binding it. The animal immediately escapes into the forest. You look at it for a moment, then all goes silent. Randomly chosen hero gains 1 morale. Okay, so on a 1 to 3 it's Friedrich. On a 4 to 6 it's Wilhelm. So Friedrich gains 1 morale. And now we are at Andux Abbey, and we can reveal this card. You reach the Ammersee Lake before sunset. The mighty Andex Monastery used to tower over this place a long time ago. After the mist swept over this region, the proud and rich monastery was no more. A crumbling bell tower and a sea of ruins are the testament to its former glory. F002. Okay, so we take F002 and we turn it over. Herb picking. Where to start the search? Yeah, of course, because this was the doctor who sent us out to pick herbs, wasn't it? So this is kind of an activity. Where to start the search? According to the doctors, Brigus, as the herb is called, usually grow in shady and moist places. Okay, you head toward the river. Its banks should be overgrown with herbs. The best conditions for this plant are probably by the northern wall of the church, the only one tall enough to cast a soothing shade on the vale below. You decide to look near the entrance to the cellars. It's dark and moist enough, right behind the threshold, exactly how the herbs you're looking for like it. So they grow in shady, moist places, so I'm thinking C is probably our best choice, because a cellar would well, it depends how well it was kept. That's quite tough. It seems like C should be the one, but it seems too obvious, and it also might well be other people have come looking for them. They might have all been used up, raiding the cellar of the church and everything. So, I'm going to go for 17.07. And we'll have a look by the northern wall. 17.07. You head to the wall, passing the old church, now turned into rubble, covered in weeds, bushes and ivy. Interestingly, the stone altar is still in good condition. Flowers growing at its base surround it like a gentle blue halo. So we have a choice. A, you approach deeply charmed to take a closer look. Or B, you pass the altar and go straight to the shady valley. If that altar's been used by people for dark purposes, then maybe we shouldn't go there. But I'm too curious. Okay, let's take a look. 1709. The wind whistles among treetops and stone spires.
Help us, please, touch the altar.
You don't know if there are some phantoms, or if real voices are mixed with the sound of wind. Okay, so we have another choice. You place the altar stone. Choose heroes willing to do this. Or B, you keep moving. Yeah, okay, I've pushed my luck far enough. We're going to keep moving. So 17.10. Okay, so you descend a gentle slope leading from the cloister toward a small valley protected on three sides by a wall of mighty oaks. It's completely calm here. You only hear buzzing bees. The smell of flowers is overwhelming. You spot yellow blooms and long leaves of the herb called Brigus. You collect a full bag to ensure you have enough. Nice, so we found it. Place S84 face up on location 5. Each hero gains 2 experience. So that puts Friedrich up to 17 experience. And Wilhelm up to 8. And then we place story card 84 on location 5. So story card 84 needs to be done between days 15 and 23, so that needs doing really quick as well. So that goes in location 5, which is back in Pennsburg. So I was planning on going straight back down here, but now we need to get to Pennsburg as well, and it's kind of on the way. And there's no port here either. So we're looking at day 19, so day 20, day 21, day 22, day 23. So we can hopefully get there just in time. That's what we're going to have to do, I think. Because there's no ports anywhere, unless... see, there could be a port here or here, maybe. Okay, we're going to have to take the route where I know we can make it in time. So, we're going to move to here, putting us on day 20. See if we have a road event. We don't. So then we're going to move to here, putting us on day 21. And we see if we have a road event. And we don't. So at least our travel is calm. Now, on day 21, this card activates as well. So before we go into town, we're going to have a look at what this card does. So, we're going to have a look at what this card does. So, 16. Okay, you accompany the Duke's entourage to witness the Embrace of Fire, the most important religious ceremony in Pennsburg. One of the priests is with you, explaining on the way the arcana of the ritual. This is that priest's ritual, isn't it, where they're chucking kids into the demon pit or whatever it is. I hope this doesn't cost me any more days. I'm getting really badly waylaid here. Okay, so it's F10. Conversation with the priest. The sower of fire is our great protector. May he live forever, and his fire burn brightly. The Duke and the priests signed some pact with him. According to it, he should always defend us from evil lurking in the mist. Since that time, every new and full moon, at dawn, we place 3 young girls under the sower's care. Some are from our town, others from nearby villages. We call such girls the Chosen, as the sower chooses them for companions in the eternal realm. During the ceremony, they step inside the Eye of Sower and are wed to him. Okay, so we have a choice. A. Are they chosen? Do they volunteer? B. Are all the girls happy with this lot? Or C. Do the families ever intervene? Right, we're going to ask if the girls are happy with this. I get the impression they won't be. So 31.02. Of course, there's no greater happiness in this world, living next to our God. What could you possibly want if not this? Yes, it's true that sometimes evil demons try to claim the girls' souls, causing them to cry or curse, but even they find peace in the end. Okay. Right, okay. Yeah, sure, pal. We know they don't volunteer. Because the captain of the guard's daughter told us that they're chosen. So we're going to read 31.01 and see what he tells us. So 31.01. They are not volunteers. It's sower of fire choosing them as fate dictates. All second daughters born among our subjects participate in the lottery. If she draws a black stone, she becomes a chosen. If she draws a white stone, she's barred from this privilege and fortune. 1 month before the embrace of fire, the chosen are given the opportunity to live in a special chamber in the Duke's castle. That's where they prepare to meet the god by drinking purifying potions and reciting prayers. Oh, well, that sounds lovely. But he did tell us the truth that they don't volunteer, so let's see. Do the families ever intervene? 31.03. I'm deeply sorry that some families don't understand who protects them and who they should thank for their lives. There are even some who are willing to hide their second daughters from us to try to send them away. However, our cult supports all families of the Chosen by offering them modest alms. Okay, we'll give you a few coins for your daughter to be thrown into a demon pit. Sounds fair. Right, so, after asking about all subjects that interest you, discard this card, then read 31.04. You reach a place where the ground is increasingly rocky until it eventually turns into solid stone. Black gaping holes are visible here and there. These are mouths of underground caverns. This whole area looks similar. You watch your step, afraid to fall into one of the holes. Finally, you arrive at a huge, almost perfectly round exit of a rocky shaft. Its bottom is deep down, in the bowels of the earth, hidden in impenetrable darkness. The priest stops you with an abrupt gesture. No one besides the priest and the Chosen is allowed to approach the edge and look into the Eye of Sower. 3 young girls wearing white, simple dresses stand barefoot at the edge. A crowd of a few dozen people is standing nearby. Some of them are crying, but most are watching the scene with interest. The high priest steps forward, facing the mob. Sower of fire, Lord of flames, as always we come to you to bow and pass our gifts. Please give us warmth and safety, destroy our enemies, and make them suffer for eternity. The man's voice flows over the crowd and into the mist. The Chosen are being pushed toward the edge of the eye by a few cult lackeys. Accept these maidens, happily entering your kingdom. The girls do not seem eager to jump into the abyss, despite the prodding and the high priest's motivational speech. They also seem a little drugged, as if they are uncertain of their state. Suddenly, a cry comes from the crowd. No! Giselda! Return to me, my daughter! Leave her be, you murderers! You should be thrown into the abyss instead! A few people calm the crying woman and drag her away. Finally, the impatient cult members push the girls, one after another, into the dark maw. The first 2 simply jump. There's no need to force them. However, The last one resists and grabs the arm of the closest cultist, wedging her fingers deep into his skin. To no avail, she stands no chance against the group of thugs. A moment later, she joins the other girls, falling into the dark. The crowd watches in silence. The sacrifice has been made. We are safe. Rejoice, my people. Warmth and fire shall stay with us, declares the high priest, finishing his speech. People begin to disperse. Each hero gains 2 experience and loses 1 morale. So that drops Wilhelm and Friedrich back down to 0 morale, but they each gain 2 experience. So Wilhelm is now on 10, and Friedrich is on 19. And well, it wasn't that horrible. I really have no interest in saving these people anymore. I'm quite happy to leave the beast to eat them all, or whatever it's going to do. Or at least this fire priest. And I'm not too sure about that, with them living in like the Duke's chamber or whatever it was, where they get to drink purifying potions. Yeah. To be honest, these people can all go fuck themselves. Well, anyway, now that we've been and done all that, we can now have a nice, pleasant visit in this town of child murderers. So thankfully I can collect all of this stuff without having to advance another day. So the first place we're going to go to is location 2, because we've got all those greasers there. So that's where we're going to start. So we have S59. You enter the well-lit workshop and see Sabine. The air is filled with the smell of wormwood. Sabine, wearing a mask, is leaning over a huge pot full of boiling water. 42.12. Did you deliver the package? Great, I have a new task for you. An ideal challenge for a bunch of armed thugs. You notice a mischievous smile under the mask. I need a very rare ingredient, a Lucanus's tongue. I'll shower you with gold if you bring it to me. One of those monsters has recently been seen around the ruins of the monastery in Fusen, and you'd better hurry, because the mist these days is particularly fickle. It'll cover the ruins and everything around them before you know it, and then the Lucanus will be gone. You're not sure if you should leave immediately or focus on something else rather than working for Sabine. Still, you make a note of where the monster can be found. Okay, so place S60 face down on M13. Okay, so that goes on there. And then we gain 2 experience each, which puts Friedrich onto 21. So we're immediately going to spend 20 of Friedrich's experience to bump him up to a dexterity of 2. And then Wilhelm goes up to 12. And then we gain the marker Sabine's Friends. And of course we get our 6 greasers, which was 2 monster greasers, a shapeshifter grease, a human grease, and 2 demonic greasers. So we have plenty of greasers now. But first we're going to go to the long market. So we need to see if we have a city event. So we don't have a city event when we move to the long market. And we're going to collect our reward from that wagon. So we get 2 coins each and 1 silver each. Now we could sell some stuff here, but I kind of want to do a bit of crafting fairly soon, because I know we've got a load of iron waiting for us as well. So it might be worth buying a few bits from here. So we're going to need to buy some leather. And we can see here, to make armour, we've got 2 silver, we'll have 6 metal soon. So we need 2 pieces of leather, and leather costs 2 coins each. So we're going to spend 4 coins to buy 2 pieces of leather. Okay, and then we're done at the long market. So we're going to head up to the medic. So we'll see if we have a town event, and we do. So we've got our town events, we're going to give them a shuffle. And then we'll draw from the bottom. So we've got sharpening. You hear a rhythmic sound of metal grinding against stone. You notice a roofed stall between passerby. Its owner is a muscled giant wearing a leather apron. He's sharpening a sword. A few more blades are placed next to him, waiting for their turn. You can smell fresh fat, leather, and danger radiating from the stall. A crowd of clients is waiting in the front. You watch the scene, listening to some fat man facing the crowd. "It's Master Vincent from Krakow. I heard he uses special greases with powdered vampire fangs to sharpen weapons. They make any blade deadly beyond compare. He's here only for one day, then he heads south." Okay, A. You approach and join the queue. You may sharpen one chosen melee weapon, paying 2 ducats. Or you pass the stall and keep walking. Powdered vampire fangs is a suggest. So this could be another scam. But it might get us an upgrade for our longsword. So I think for 2 ducats, we'll take the risk. So we'll pay our 2 ducats. And we'll read option A. The master expertly does his job. He's busy sharpening, smearing, rubbing, checking, polishing. Time and time again, he finally hands you the weapon. Its blade slightly shines in the dark. That's what you call a professional work. You gain the diamond sharpening. Nice. So this is our diamond sharpening. Now it only lasts for 1 quest, but it's going to give us +1 strength for that quest. So we're going to stick that on Wilhelm's longsword, and then we'll reveal this card. So S84. Your employer is true to his word. You get a full collection of notes, drawings, sketches, and measurements made wherever the attacks happened. There's also a leather bag with tufts of fur. You're sure that this wealth of knowledge will prove invaluable. Ooh, you gain clue 2. Okay, so we've got clue 1 and 2 now. Okay, so we don't have time to look at anything else. We're just going to get out of here and carry on with our mission. And now we're going to head down to Ashenwald, get all our stuff, and then head down here. So that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. And as usual, like, subscribe, share, all the YouTube stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.